teenage killers, Scarlett Jenkinson and Eddie Ratcliffe, were named yesterday as the murderers of 16-year-old Brianna Ghey.
Now, some say we should be careful about naming perpetrators, especially when they're minors. Others believe revealing their identity should be part of their punishment. So we're debating today, should they have been named?
Well, we've got a lawyer and academic, Anthony Miller. Have we got him? It's just dropped out, so we'll try and get that back. Oh, good old internet. In the meantime, let's talk to media commentator Paula Londin. Good to see you, Paula. Oh, and I think we've got Anthony as well. There we go.
Oh,
so everyone's
there.
So there we go. Paula, let's start with you. What's your view on this?
I think they should be named. For some reason in this country, we protect criminals too much. Our legal system used to be the envy of the world. Now it's laughed at around the world. The only thing I do worry about, these killers were particularly evil and they may enjoy the notoriety. So that worries me, and they could receive a lot of letters, etc., in jails. So I'm hoping that they won't be able to read all of these letters, because then they'll never be able to be rehabilitated if they're being praised for their disgusting actions. But they should be named 100%.
Anthony Miller, what do you think?
Yes, good morning. First of all, the first thing I would say is that our legal system is not laughed at around the world. It's a ridiculous thing to say. However, what I think is really important, and what you did touch on, is we're making pop stars out of teen murderers now. I mean, we have, two teenagers who were absolutely obsessed with the murder of Brianna. They were accessing dark places in the internet via VPNs to watch murders on video. You have now just given teen people with those same views celebrities to look up to, people to become. So I most certainly would not ever have named them. I wouldn't have given them the notoriety that they seek. Certainly not.
There's an argument, though, isn't there? I mean, say talk about the notoriety and what have you, but when a crime is this heinous, don't we need to know? It's very odd to put it into words, isn't it? But isn't there a sense that we really need to know who these people are in our society? One day they could very well be out, and there's a sense, isn't there, Anthony, that we just need to know. We need to understand them and what's gone wrong.
I can absolutely understand the motivation for wanting to know. And when we look at that legal test of public interest versus interesting to the public, then I think it does become quite a wide debate. I mean, and just to clarify, the judge hasn't done anything wrong. The law was there to do this. So this is not an argument against the judge at all. But I think as a society, what have you gained from knowing their names? What in any way has changed for you by knowing their names? But for them, everything has changed. Why would they rehabilitate? They now have an image. They now have a reputation to wear and to live up to. Why would they ever want to rehabilitate?
Well, 20 to 22 years or so is a long time for them to change. I mean, Paula, you think it's right to name them, and it may give them a very hard time in whatever institution they end up in.
Yes.
Do you think that's a good thing?
I think it's a good thing, because it's quite interesting. Even heinous criminals, some crimes they think are a lot worse, especially killing a 16-year-old girl. So the guy especially, when his inmates could be very, very angry with him. So that is something. So they could face extra punishment in jail, per se, because they've been named. But it's very interesting about when a lot of these killers, if they are released after 22 years and 20 years, if they get a new identity, because some people say they need that to try to move on with their lives. And then if we look at James Bulger's killers, Venables especially, these guys only did 8 years as well. I know there were 10 when they committed the murders, but 8 years is nothing. And Venables was recalled twice to jail. He's now in jail. He was given a new identity, but was very proud of his crimes and was telling people his real names. So why should we give people new identities?
But forgive me, Paul, that's our failing, isn't it? In the sense that I'm not trying to advocate on behalf of Venables at all. However, if he's come out proud of what he's done, I mean, the rehabilitation in the system hasn't worked in his case, has it?
But why are we bothering as a country to spend a fortune trying to rehabilitate people that can't be rehabilitated, and spend a lot of money giving them a new identity when they're not appreciative and they don't actually want to move on with their lives? As I say, we're too soft in this country.
It's interesting, isn't it, Anthony, that Brianna's father thinks it's wrong for them to be named because it's making them famous. And whilst they probably now will never see the newspapers about them, in the end they will hear that they were on every front page and they may well enjoy their fame.
Absolutely. And I think, wasn't it Brianna's mum the day before sentencing had actually given a press statement calling for compassion for the families, actually, of these two teenagers as well. I mean, they're astounding as parents. But I absolutely agree with the father. I mean, the only name that we should know should be Brianna's. These people should have absolutely nothing upon which to get any enjoyment. And you talk about when they go into prison. I no doubt that they will face some adversity when they're in there, but they're arriving as prolific murderers. How very cool for them, right? They're going in there with a reputation, and that's a reputation they're going to have to live up to. So they're going to have to keep that going. So I don't think it's a good idea. I understand why people would be interested. I just don't see the value added from knowing their names.